Iran's Operation True Promise 3, launched in response to Israeli attack dubbed Operation Rising Lion, is getting deadlier with every passing day. Israel and Iran are launching more devastating rounds of assaults. Our next story takes a look at how, after firing hypersonic missiles, Iran is claiming to unleash next-generation missiles.
Day and night, Israeli skies are lit. Israel's Iron Dome is overwhelmed. Every day, Iranian missiles are breaching. The missile defense systems causing devastation. Social media is ablaze with images of Iranian missiles streaking in unpredictable patterns, evading the much vaunted Iron Dome and David's Sling systems. Explosions light up the horizon as the Sejil missile, used for the first time, slam into their targets with surgical precision. The Sejil is a two-stage solid-fuel surface-to-surface medium-range ballistic missile. Iran claims that it has a range of 2,000 kilometers. The 18-meter-long missile can deliver a payload of approximately 700 kilograms. It can achieve a maximum speed of up to Mach 4 to Mach 5. Iranian media reports direct hits on critical military and intelligence sites, including a Mossad-linked center and a fighter jet base. Such hypersonic velocity leaves minimal time for interception, unlike slower ballistic missiles which peak and descend predictably. These missiles plunge with speed and maneuver at high altitude, tricky targets for even advanced systems. Iran's arsenal is on full display. Hypersonic missiles, swarms of drones, and innovative tactics designed to overwhelm and confuse Israeli interceptors. Each barrage is more sophisticated than the last, catching Israeli commanders off guard and forcing a desperate scramble for new strategies to counter the incoming projectiles. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
All right, for more on this, we're now being joined by Brigadier General Dr. Meir Elran, who is a senior researcher at Tel Aviv University and also served in the IDF for 24 years. Welcome to WION, Dr. Elran.
You're welcome.
First up, the U.S. President yesterday said that he may or may not consider striking on Iran. At this point of time, do you think Israel has the capacity to fight the war on its own?
There is no doubt in our mind that Israel can handle this situation militarily on its own, and which we do, not necessarily by ourselves. I mean, we have the Americans helping us and also other important friendly countries from the region and from abroad, and mostly on the defensive side of it. And the big issue is, of course, what can be the role of the Americans in this respect in the future. Of course, we don't know. It's a matter of a decision for the President of the United States. He will be the only one to decide what to do, how to do it, when to do it, etc. And we'll be waiting. But so far, I mean, it's now a week since the war started. And I think that everybody understands that we are doing quite well.
Brigadier General Elrin, you say that Israel is doing quite well, but reports say that Israel's air defense system, the Iron Dome, has been breached and it is also running low on its Arrow interceptors. How is that perhaps going to impact Israel's ability to withstand Iranian missiles like the hypersonic and the Sejal missiles, which Iran fired today against your country?
Well, it's true that it is a challenge. We are not alone in this respect. As I said before, we have other friends who are with us on this campaign. And I think that the United States will be also very helpful in this respect. And altogether, we are also being very active with our Air Force to diminish the capacity of the strikes and the launches of the Iranian missiles. And as you can see, so far, even though there are very significant hits in different civilian areas in Israel, the amount of casualties is relatively low, much lower than it was expected here in Israel in such a scenario. And I think that, as I said before, we are managing and we will manage also to enhance our capacity to strike the Iranians. And the big question is not whether we will be able to eliminate Iran. This is not really the purpose of this whole war. But we have to bring the Iranians into some kind of a deal, together with other countries, together with America, of course, so as to diminish significantly the threats, the different kinds of threats that the Iranians are posing against Israel.
Brigadier General Elrin, so do you think that the end game of Israel's war against Iran, the ongoing war, is not just to eliminate nuclear programs, but a regime change in Iran?
I didn't say anything about changing Iran, but I do say that apart from the nuclear project, which has to be dismantled and will be dismantled one way or another, either with Israel's effort by itself or with the help of others, we also have another major issue, and this is the missile project of Iran. It also has to be dismantled, and I think that Israel and its military are working very hard and quite successfully to accomplish this particular goal. And as to the question of the change of Iran, everybody's talking about that. I don't think that it can be achieved by an external power. It has to be the goal or the process from within. And this is up to the Iranian people to decide whether they want to have this brutal Islamic radical regime in power for a longer period of time, or maybe it's time for them to change the regime. I don't think that we can do that in our own force, and I don't think that this is the intention.
Right, Brigadier General Elrin, thank you so much for joining us here on WION.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And for more on this, our correspondent Trent Murray is now joining us live from Tel Aviv. Hi, Trent. Get us the latest on what's happening in Tel Aviv, because just a short while ago, the Israeli Prime Minister visited the hospital which was targeted by the Iranian missiles.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring you I'll get to the hospital in a minute. Let me just bring you some breaking news if I could, because I've got sirens sounding now. Let me just check here on my phone. Yeah, okay, so it appears Haifa in the north right now under Iranian missile attack as we go to air. Those sirens are sounding in the port city as well as several other towns up there as well. It looks like a fairly large-scale attack based on the alerts that I'm seeing on the phone. So right now people will be going to their bomb shelters. That will be the first time we've seen an attack like this since that one this morning that you mentioned. Around 30 missiles fired just after 7 a.m. local time, targeting Tel Aviv, we saw certainly a number of impacts here with apartment buildings and homes hit, but also that hospital, as you mentioned. Now, that is the biggest hospital in the southern part of Israel, a major health facility. The Prime Minister was down there vowing that Iran will pay for this. Now, we are being told that there were no casualties. Remarkably, they are saying it was just yesterday they decided to evacuate the surgical wing of that hospital because of the war, and that is the part of the building that sustained the most damage. They are saying that decision yesterday has likely saved many lives.
Trent, what is the overall sentiment on the ground right now as the Iran-Israel conflict enters day 7 with both the sides on backing down? What are the Israelis saying?
Well, we know that in the past 48 hours they loosened the rules somewhat around the state of emergency. So workplaces were able to open today again, and also gatherings of up to 30 people are being permitted. The schools do still remain closed, and of course the airport still remains closed. So I think in one way the sentiment is life is going on. You know, the streets are getting busier, more businesses are opening, but at the same time I think they are wanting to avoid complacency. People here are paying very close attention to what is happening, and of course they're trying to follow that advice from what's known as home command here, the National Front Service, to basically ensure that they get those early warnings sent to them on their phones and that they know where their nearest bomb shelter is. In most cases it can be inside a home or inside of the apartment block, but for people that don't have their own shelter, then they need to be able to run very quickly to places like underground railway stations or underground car parks.
Right, Trent. Thank you so much for joining us here on WION. That was a correspondent, Trent Murray, joining us live from Tel Aviv.